2, 1. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Countless Heroes, that crazy 16-player West Marches style campaign where I, Logan, the lone DM, take on 6 of my players at a time. Hello, players.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you all doing tonight?
Doing okay.
Pretty good.
Well
Good.
played.
I got called out as being the only one without glasses, so I put on glasses.
Oh, I'll be the only one without glasses. Where'd you go?
No, you can't be a trendsetter.
Yeah, that's very true.
No,
I'm completely blind.
I can't see at all. I'm getting much worse.
I need my
Everything's-
glasses.
I'm
Sorry.
the only one with glasses.
All right, there you go. You be the trendsetter. You could actually pull that off. All right. So as I said in chat, in case you aren't reading chat, you're just here listening to this or something, I am having kind of a bad brain space day today. I did want to get in here and try and see where we'll get to talk about a couple things, but we may be calling it at the break tonight. I will let you know before we go on break, not after we come back, if we're going to just kind of end there. It also depends on, what I get sucked into, because sometimes it just takes starting, and that's enough to get me going. So we'll see. We'll see what kind of crazy night it is. All right, so somebody want to recap for me? Since we didn't get it last.
I can. I'm already in the scribe notes document.
All right.
Okay, so people met with Mo for coffee and did a few different things in the morning. I'm just glancing over it. There was nothing huge in the morning. There were a couple of tidbits. Pip found out that because he's been hearing stories from Ash, the sword keeps talking about having a champion somewhere out there, but we don't know who it is. The sword just keeps talking about how good a person it is. And then Primeheart and Callie did stuff at the temple. Soxy spoke with Ezra. Short version was she worked around him saying don't tell me thank you by saying I appreciate that Oshin is still here. And Lark worked on Reynard at the mural, at Reynard on the mural. I can talk, I swear. Syl started repainting her arm, and Dub told her that his real name is Octavius, and he asked her to come over and meet his parents, not for dinner, specifically not for dinner, and he also let her pick a new haircut for him. At the tea garden, everyone met up with Mo, and basically it summed up to he wanted to talk out what decision to make about whether or not to join up with the algorithm. And the group basically told him, we support you, whatever you want to do. We can't make the decision for you, but just think about which one you want more. More discussion. We talked about possibly talking to the city about starting some sort of group for them instead of going with one of the adventurers guilds and whatnot. And Kurt overheard us and basically said, the city may not want to hire their own, but you could start your own. You don't have to join one of the 2 that exists. And that he would support us if we wanted to do that. Then we went to the Birchfield boat to talk to them, because we hadn't talked to them yet, just Hasco, about joining up. We discovered that Chibs' full name is Chib Chibs Chibby Chib Chibs. Because of
No more
course.
tequila before game.
I have questions.
Me too.
And we spoke with Meryl, who informed us that there had been 3 attempts on the king's life since he'd been on her boat. And she, of course, accused us because as far as she knew, no one else knows the king is there. We did legitimately say that none of us knew anything about attempts on his life. And then we spoke with the king as well. She also said that at the moment she doesn't trust us enough to really recommend us for Birchfield, but that might change. That's potentially has an option to change. And then we spoke with the king. He was very upset and hurt initially between Soxy and I'm trying to remember who else was in the room. it was Soxy and GB and Syl. And I don't remember. Oh, Lark was there, but then left. But between all of them talking to him and kind of explaining, and he doesn't hate the group. We're probably still not his favorite people, but he doesn't hate us. And he understands why we did it, even if he doesn't agree with the fact that we did. He wanted to see Saldana. Oh, hi, Kat. And was sad she wasn't there. We did let him know that she had left town, so he'd like us to find her and give her a message from him. He also informed us that he was basically forced to do everything by Donovan, which is the keysmith's name. So we finally have a name to go with the keysmith. And was described as basically just nondescript human with black hair. So we don't have a whole lot to go on in terms of who he is. Logan made the comment that we haven't actually met him yet, so we don't have to be suspicious of like Dub or anybody. I don't think he wanted us to go crazy off on that tangent.
I never do.
Yeah. Okay. Skimming. Those were the key points. And
well, Kelly is here.
Yes. Callie and Lark received the shipment from Bezel, which was Amy. They met another member of the I just forgot the name of the clock people. Timekeepers, thank you. Another member of the Timekeepers named Penn, who was dropping off the delivery and had some sort of special bracer that made it so the Nocturne couldn't see him, so Amy couldn't see him. Although she was almost able to triangulate his position perfectly and blast him because of Lark and Callie not realizing what was going on.
Sure, Callie knew what was going on. She chose to. But she didn't
well,
know
you
about
didn't
the
know
ring.
she had like a disintegration ray in her hand.
No, I just figured she was going to punch him, and I was okay with that.
Yeah, no, I would have been too. The Amy showed up at the Birchfield boat and was going to go hang out with Earl. She did tell us that she does not have to share information with the other Nocturne. She would have to actually choose to tell them, and she's not planning to tell them where Earl is. So as far as we know, none of the other Nocturnes should be able to figure out that Earl is on the boat. Which is good, because we don't want Donovan to find him again. And then at Syl's, everyone was hanging out, and Mo showed up. And we went to the tower with him to say goodbye and keep him company, and to be the first ones to meet Dee Dee, the duodrome that he and Moira are going to merge and become. But after a while, much longer than he had told us the ritual was actually going to take, he still hadn't come down. So GB went upstairs and heard crying coming through the door. And he went in and discovered Mo crying on the bed. He'd been rejected by the algorithm and by his people because told him he didn't really want to join and become Dee Dee. And so he was pruned, which means he can never go home or become part of his people again, but he gets to stay with us. So it's sad, but at the same time, we get to have Mo. So,
I can't hold all these emotions.
Emotions.
Oh. And yeah. That was that. So there were a couple of ups and downs in that episode. A down was definitely talking to Earl. That was sad.
I did appreciate the fact that it did seem that he really was not that upset with us. I mean, he was hurt more than anything. And his message to Saldana is one of forgiveness, and I really just kind of want to talk to you. It's okay. I understand what you did. So,
yeah.
It seems like he's absolutely the person that he was supposed to be underneath the vampire all along. So,
yeah. Oh, two things actually that reminded me. One is he specifically said that all those good things he did after he married Saldana, of course, our group took it as, oh, he's just trying to make people not hate him. turned out he was trying to show that he was a good person underneath what he was being forced to do by Donovan. Also, he, oh my God, I just forgot the second thing I was going to say, but it was important.
He's willing to leave the city and be the scapegoat if it means Cinderhaven stays safe, which is incredibly important.
He didn't say leave the city.
He said he was willing to be the scapegoat.
Which is pretty big.
Yes, so he's okay with us continuing to not tell everyone the truth because he understands that if we try to tell the truth now with no real proof, it's just going to tear everything apart again when the city's finally starting to get kind of calmed down.
And that's the only thing he cares about is the city being healthy.
Oh, I remembered the other thing too. Apparently Donovan made him watch when Donovan was turning people into Nocturne. So in a very real way, the Earl Goodsberry has been tortured as much as any other member of the group. Yep, that's it.
That's it. Like, it's nothing, no big deal. It's like, oh yeah, that's just everything.
I know. There were a lot of bits and pieces in that one. And poor Bo. I think Logan made me cry 2 or 3 times during that session. Like, I cried talking to Earl Goodsberry, I cried talking to Mo, and then I cried when Mo didn't make it.
I don't like how you said Mo didn't make it. I don't
Sorry,
like that
you know what I
sentence.
mean. Didn't become part of the algorithm.
That sentence is all... Oh, no.
Joe.
Joe, that's even sadder.
Did you know basketball's huge with Mo Jones?
I would think they would hate it.
I mean, to be fair, they are used to the ball. But,
That's why. That would hurt.
You can't bounce something that's made out of
Metal doesn't bounce.
metal.
It just
That's why
goes
the
doesn't-
court is made of rubber. It's kind of backwards.
Reverse basketball.
Reverse basketball.
Is that like reverse math?
Oh
Like-
my God.
like
Basketball and a trampoline.
Like the game in El Dorado with the armadillo, like forcing himself through the holes.
Mm-hmm. Fucking love that scene. Very good. Is Connor
Alright.
Miguel?
Nothing.
It's a stupid thought. Never mind.
Oh, what did you say?
I said, is Connor Miguel?
Yes.
Who's Tulio?
Owen.
Excuse me, first of all, I already made that connection.
I didn't know. I'm
Weeks
very
ago.
happy.
Weeks ago, that's Rosie and Finku. First of all.
Pardon, what?
Rinku?
Rosie.
Now I'm
Rosie?
Finku or Tulio and Miguel.
Okay, but who's Chell?
I don't know who these people are.
Callie?
Oh my god, is this another video? This is another movie we need to get you to watch, Russell.
What
No.
movie is this?
Hotel-
No.
What
Daisy.
movie is this? What
Daisy.
movie is this?
Road to
Road
El
to El
Dorado.
Road to El Dorado.
Never seen it.
Oh, babe.
Cute. We're not friends anymore.
Babe, when you come visit,
Okay.
That was the-
all
We're gonna
We're not
steal
friends anymore
you.
then.
No, I don't like that. When we come and kidnap you from England, we're forcing you to watch all of the best DreamWorks movies, including Road to El Dorado,
I mean,
Prince
you
of
need to
Egypt.
force me
Sin-
to watch it.
Prince of Egypt is so good.
Prince of Egypt is my favorite DreamWorks movie of all
It's
time,
great
and one of my
film.
top.
It's
It's one of my
great
top
film.
favorite.
No,
favorite.
the best DreamWorks film is Shrek.
I mean, it's actually not a bad
I do
film.
like Shrek.
It's actually
True.
not a bad
Physically
film.
fight you.
No, the first one's really good. The sequels are mediocre.
The second one is
sequels are
pretty
shit.
funny.
The second,
The
one's
second
good.
one is hilarious. I
second-
love.
okay, Shrek the Third is
If it-
terrible, and Shrek
The
Forever
third
After-
on is okay.
Can I just say
Okay,
that
fair
if Shrek 2 is bad, then why does it have one of the most lit covers of all fucking time, holding out for a hero?
I mean, you're
That
right.
scene is fucking lit.
Right.
That
That is
scene
a really good
lit.
scene.
Welcome to Countless Heroes, where we talk about Shrek and DreamWorks
You
movies.
can't
Instead
tell
of playing
us
This is
what-
our
D&D.
DreamWorks Appreciation podcast.
Listen,
show,
I
streaming show.
will host that podcast. Listen.
I mean, we could just have a podcast about Rust while we play Rust.
Oh my god, that'd actually be really amazing. I'd totally listen to that.
Okay, back to D&D. I'm sorry. Why'd the music get sad?
I don't
Sorry,
like
guys.
that.
1 second.
No, you're good.
Well,
It's
I just got
Who you
another.
are, or where you are in the world when your mother texts you. You take a second.
Mhm.
valid. Also,
I also want to
Russell?
mention
Hold on.
that this
Never mind.
music is
Turn it
really
off.
fitting, considering that I just got a really ominous message from a DM of another game.
That's in general
Wait.
RP. I have to work on that. Alrighty. So let us entertain you.
let us make you smile.
We'll do our best.
You know where all the
Try.
theater nerds are immediately.
Wait. say,
What
this
is
is-
happening
this
with
is
my
like the
arm right
group of
now,
theater
y'all?
I wanted to be a theater nerd, but my voice isn't good.
It's kind of an orangish color.
That's how I feel.
It's
Rex.
called tan
Either.
lines
Yeah, but why is the inside of my elbow so
Solidarity.
fucking pale?
because you
because
bend
you
your
stand
arm.
like this all day when you're outside.
Because
Okay.
You're singing opera.
You got me
D&D.
there.
He's holding
Your hands up.
a menu when he's.
I
yeah.
take orders outside at Chick-fil-A. That's
I know. I think about you every time I go to Chick-fil-A.
Oh, really? Aw.
It's a strange thing to say. All right. I think about you when I go to Chick.
Every time I go to
I
Chick-fil-A.
think that's sweet.
Every time.
I think that's sweet.
And now it got weird.
Oh, I can make
Um,
anything weird.
So
All
can
right.
I. Logan,
Let's not try
don't,
that.
don't. Yeah.
Yeah, let's
that's
not go there.
Dungeons and
Um,
Dragons.
I have a feeling it would end with you and I making out, and we're like thousands of miles away, and that would be very.
Yeah,
weird.
the fact is if we're gonna play that chicken game, I'm not gonna I'm
You're not
a
going to
chicken
lose,
position.
right? Yeah, that's.
Yeah. Do I have
Calm
to
down.
five
All right.
Can we
I think
like,
this is
can
how
we
it works.
like veer away
Hang
from
on.
this
See,
conversation?
we made it weird.
Hang on, my brain has to process this thought here.
No,
This
it really
image
doesn't.
that is
We
now
can
in
just
my
move
head.
on.
Okay, I'm
think
good.
have
I feel
to
like we're gonna
$5
get-
now.
I feel like.
You do owe me $5.
Wait, hold on.
I'm
hold
sorry,
on.
what?
Here?
Can
Is
I give you
Fennec here?
£5
No?
instead?
Okay, good.
Yeah, actually,
don't want
with
that
exchange
fan
rate, you
fiction.
absolutely can.
Wow, that extra 70 cents.
Is that all it is now? Good
Yeah,
God, I remember
it
it was
used
almost
to be
double.
I remember the exact same thing, and it makes me sad.
Oh.
every time.
Oh, Gabby saw him
It
up
was
at
like
walk.
almost like $4.20 on $5. It would have been. That was ridiculous. All right. This is tonight, guys. Sorry. All right. So so you guys are doing stuff. What are you doing in the morning? That's what we're trying to do. Did we already do that? Did I miss it? We haven't done that.
No,
yet.
we haven't.
No, we've been talking about Road to El Dorado and
Okay.
Shrek and
Right.
weird fan
Oh, it's only
fictions
7:20,
between
okay.
the DM and the
I
player.
usually don't start worrying until about 7:40 when we haven't gotten to the morning stuff yet. That's when it's. Maybe we should just turn the cameras on 15 minutes early, and then we'll get to the stuff faster. It's like no, by the
Maybe.
time 7 o'clock rolls around, we might be ready to start.
Maybe.
All right. So what are you guys doing?
Doubtful.
Doubtful.
Owen is doing regular Owen stuff, working with the guard and whatnot. He's also going to be doing some research out in the library, checking out anything on the hand cord or the Maidens of Cord, I think was the title. So we can get any info on
Handmaidens
that
of the
organization.
The
Yeah,
Handmaidens
that
of
one.
Cord.
Nathan would be training with, since Owen's not there, I
Things
guess.
of the Cord.
The cord. Because Owen's not there, I guess. Nathan's still training with someone.
Sure. Okay.
Still training.
All right. Anybody else?
Just work.
Rosie is going to get up early in the morning and go find Finku. And
Okay.
just immediately just
Bingo!
You would find him. What time are you getting up?
she's getting up probably around 6. She probably gets there on like
He's at the Greaser Union already.
okay.
So
So she'd probably go to the greasy union.
okay.
Bingo!
As you burst through the door, Finku immediately throws a tarp over what he was working on, and then it's like, what?
I need your help. It's very important.
Okay. And he's just covering the pieces of gun.
I need your help. It's very important. It's very important. Like right now. Like right now.
Okay.
She's gonna grab his
As
hand.
you guys are saying that, Tira walks over and says, Finku, I think I solved that problem you were having. And she pulls up a little hand crank egg beater. She goes, this might get that kind of that shaky motion you were looking for. And he hands it to you and walks away.
What are you working on? Never mind. It's not important.
No, it isn't important. Let's go.
She's gonna grab his hand and start running towards Nathan's estate.
Oh no.
That's a long run. All right.
Yeah. What?
I have questions.
First of all, she's going to immediately go into Nathan's closet.
Go for a brisk 5K in the morning. That's great.
Yeah, right.
Or,
Her
for
dex
Finku,
is pretty
like
good.
7.5.
Dex 18, I'm fine.
Oh, for
Oh.
Rosie too.
Yeah. So she's immediately going to go into Nathan's closet and grab the rest of his left two pairs of shoes. She's going to shove them at Finku. Just take these.
What?
It's very important. Just take them.
No,
Take them.
I do what with them?
Just hold on to them. I'll show you where to put them later.
And then with the right hand pairs of shoes, she's going to start tying all the laces together with like little bows.
Finku's just kind of standing there for like a good minute, just holding these shoes. I'm like,
Hold on.
And she's going to grab all of Nathan's paintbrushes. And she's going to walk to his bedroom window, open it, and start climbing down. Just place the jar on the ground below his window. Climb back up. And she's going to run into the kitchen and start reorganizing everything in all of the cupboards.
Bingo.
Has anxiety. Why would you do this to him?
he's just gonna sneak down the stairs. He's trying to be quiet because he's like,
It's fine. He's not home.
is he not home?
No. So
Where
now
is
we
he?
need to go to Sunflower Dreams. We need to stash them.
Okay.
Fun fact, Mari is staying at the estate, so you do have to be careful.
It's fine. She won't rat on me.
It's probably true.
She wouldn't.
She might be at work already.
She's sick right now. In-game.
So
Let me
So she
roll
would take
that
Finku's
stealth
hand
check.
again, grab the shoes, and throw them in her bag. And she's going to run to Sunflower Dreams and stash them. If she has to sneak in a window, she will sneak in a window. She will replant some of the flowers in the shoes and just have them on the shelves. And then when she's done, just
Perfect. This is exactly what I needed. So what were you working on?
Things. I work on a lot of things.
What kind of things, Finku?
Also, I got a 26 for stealth. So. Clocks, wheels, springs, egg whisks. Apparently,
You're lying.
no. Those are all things I absolutely work on.
That you were working on.
I don't
Your
remember.
nose twitches every time you lie. Just so you know.
My nose always twitches.
It does, especially when you lie. I know your tells, Finku. I know. I know everyone's tells, except for Owen. Owen's good at that.
I mean, okay.
Come on, listen. I don't get to hang out with you that much. I wanted to hang out with you again, and I needed your rogue skills, and also you need to practice. So,
I am. Okay, do you want to come and have a look what I'm making?
okay.
Okay, time to go all the way back to the Greasy Union.
Do you want to race? I'll race you.
Yes.
We can run
Let's
again.
race.
All right, 3, 2, 1.
I mean, that's not even a contest, unfortunately.
Doesn't mean that Rosie won't cheat.
That's cheating. Okay, so after a bit, they get back to the Grecian Union, and they go back
Sure.
in, go to the desk. The whisk just placed on top of the thing. It's just like, I don't want to show you this just yet because it's still not working already.
Then you don't have
and
to
it's
show me.
bugging me. No, but and he just pulls the cloth off, and there's all of the pieces of the gun and he's been working on this for about a month now, so it's looking fairly good. It's just not fully constructed.
Whoa.
So you see one of the rifles very similar to Mickey's, but it's scaled down for the size of a small creature.
Did you steal this?
No, this is one I'm making. It's not his size.
Nice. That's cool.
Mm-hmm. But it's not quite done. And when it is done, I'll let you know.
Okay. You don't really seem one to use guns, though.
No, not really.
Is it for Daisy? She might use guns. I feel like she'd enjoy that.
She might use guns. That's a fair point.
Alright, I'm hungry. Do you want breakfast?
Yes, I guess. What time is it?
I don't wear watches, so I have no
Why am I
idea.
asking you when we're in the clock making place? Okay, yeah, we'll be a little bit early, but I guess running across the city took a bit longer than we thought. Sure, we can go and wait for the others. Just hang out for a little bit.
So that's the shenanigans that Rosie gets up to.
I think it was going to work on the gun some more, but apparently not.
No!
All right. Yes.
Callie is going to be spending her morning down at the docks, scraping barnacles, and is probably being a little bit ridiculous and a little silly, flirting with the dock hands and sailors before, diving into the water in her mostly see-through sweater to be a tease because she finds it fun. And while she's scraping barnacles, she wants to try and see if she can find anything on the ground, like maybe coins or something that have fallen into the water or stuff that's been lost overboard when people are unloading ships. That kind of thing.
All right.
That is what the kids call a large emotion.
We're never letting
Anyone
you
else?
live that down, Joseph.
I don't have anything specific. Soxy just went to work.
Nathan just
Oh.
went training, so.
Do you want me to roll to see if I find anything, love, or no?
Not right now. We'll have to discuss how that'll work later.
Boogie.
Getting on with taking care of. Someone will handle later, please.
I like to imagine that Owen comes back from researching to the guard post and just finds Nathan flat on his ass.
Rude. He's gotten a lot better. You do not give him enough credit.
It's been a week.
It's been more than a week.
It
It's
might have been
been-
2 weeks.
It takes way more than a week, though, to get good with a
I'm-
weapon.
Oh, I'm aware, but he's not as bad as he was before.
True.
Probably true. He's probably got a bunch of blisters he's never had to deal with before.
He's an artist who does a bunch of multimedia
It's
callus.
it's
Ca-
it's not
different
the
kinds of
same
blisters,
spots, though.
but he does have calluses. He's got rough hands. I don't know why I said it like
Who knows?
but,
It's not episode 69, it's 79.
Every episode is
Same thing,
episode
just
69
10
with us.
people.
Yeah, if you're with us, like, let's be real, guys. Yeah, Nathan actually probably would be just kind of laying on the ground, breathing hard, because he's been training for several hours.
Wow, I thought Mari was sick.
Leave him alone.
Sorry, guys. Got a couple more things here, then I'll have everything ready.
You get?
Hey, Autumn, thanks for calling Nathan the fuck out in chat.
I feel like Nathan gets disproportionately called out just because it's very fun.
No!
I don't think Rosie's ever been called out. Ever.
No, I'm pretty sure it's mostly Nathan who gets called the fuck. I'm a little insulted, but also so proud.
I think it's mostly because Rosie could trash talk you back. And probably into the ground.
What do you do, Autumn?
Well,
Gabby's savage.
Wow! Oh, Gabby. Oh, Gabby. Oh, Gabby, do you want to test me right here, right now in my own? Because you won't win.
Jesus Christ.
I'm a Taurus. I'm really stubborn. And I'm petty.
I'm a Cancer, which means I don't believe in astrology.
Love you, Gabby. Also, I saw earlier in the chat, I don't know if you're still here, my boy, Caleb, if you're here, what up, my boy? I don't think he's still here, but he might.
I think that might be the broiest thing you've ever done, Kaden. I'm proud.
I was thinking the exact same thing.
What's up, demons? It
me.
me. Ya boy.
Boy.
Fucking BuzzFeed.
I'm sorry.
We have a
I'm-
yeet emoji?
No, I think they brought it over from somewhere else, but I'm assuming
Oh.
that's
Hey,
probably
there's my-
your friend, because yeet.
That's my boy! That's my boy! What up, my boy?
Then the question becomes, why don't we have a yeet emoji? I feel
Valid.
like that would have been top priority.
We only
for-
get one right now.
Fair.
Soon. Soon.
Everybody gets one.
Not anytime soon.
I choose to
We
be
need
positive.
the Mo
thank you.
emoji. I feel like the yeet emoji should be someone just throwing Rosie.
Fireball
Do
special.
remember that this channel is not just this show anymore, but we do need to get some others, yeah. And hopefully sometime in the next couple of weeks, it may not even only be the two shows. Got a lot of crazy things happening. I think one more thing here, and then we'll go ahead and get started. Back at the Beer Forge. So you guys arrive at the Beer Forge, Finku and Rosie get there first.
Rosie's dancing on the table and trying to pull
Rosie,
Finku up there with her.
Which table? Your table?
Yeah.
Yeah, he dance. He dance on the table. Why not?
Alright.
He's fairly dexterous. I imagine he can at least.
Just because you don't hear from him very often, Swazi will probably show up, dance with you for a little bit, then leave. Just so you know that he's still around.
Good! I was like, did someone eat my froggy boy?
Nobody ate your friend, Froggy Boy. There are no French people in my game. They're
all villains.
Rude? Question mark?
Are you French?
I'm part French, but this is we're going off track.
Mike is French Canadian descent. Does that count?
Does he eat frog's legs?
Not that I know of.
No. Sorry to all the French people out there. You have more class than that. You're not watching this. Let's see here. Then after that, Owen and probably Callie will show up. And then Soxy, why the hell not? And as soon as Caden gets back, he can come in. So go ahead.
Callie looks like she just won a wet t-shirt contest from doing work, basically.
Thinku
Oh,
is
and-
looking anywhere but her shit.
Owen is making a very, he's making eye contact consistently.
Thinku is doing the same, looking at his book, anywhere else.
Callie, do you need a towel or
No, I'm almost dry. But thank you.
or a cloak?
If you want, I can press the digitation you dry right now if that works.
Don't you have
Oh,
to touch her for that to work?
I wouldn't say
No,
no.
not for that. Not for that version. You don't need to touch.
He's gonna go ahead and snap and release the. He's gonna dry you out. I don't know a good way to phrase that. I can't think of a good way to say that.
She's a Triton. Please don't dry her out. It will not be great.
You dry her clothes.
Yes, that's what my brain should have said.
Well, thank you.
Of course.
So, is this it then? Do we have anyone else coming?
I think. There's Nathan now.
Hurrying in, like munching something.
I mean, Nathan is great at dramatic timing, so that's not really surprising.
He's just gonna
Why
stop
are
and
you
look at
eating?
Finko.
Why are you eating when you're coming into a bar? What is
He
wrong
doesn't pay
with
attention to
you?
Rosie. He just looks at Finko and goes, "You know, I expected them. But you, really?
I have spent the last 4 hours with Rosie. I'm sorry.
Valid.
My
Okay.
brain,
Yep,
my
that's fair.
brain has been tainted. I'm sorry.
Also,
how
what
are you,
exactly
Nathan?
have I done?
Oh, fair. You're good to me.
I'm not
Thank you.
entirely sure what I did either.
Okay, yeah, you two are
You
good to
did
me.
flirt with his girlfriend.
Before I knew that he was dating her, and the second I knew he was dating her, I stopped.
Let's be honest. I think Nathan's referring to me and Rosie.
That's fair.
And Primark.
Yeah.
True.
I'm
God,
not here.
Primark
Is he
will
here?
rip into me.
And I think Primar's busy today.
He's a little tuckered out.
Meh, meh, meh. All right, so the bar is about average packed today, as you guys all arriving and getting in. There is one sort of strange looking table, something you're not quite familiar with. Across the way, there is a dwarf who's a little bit not as stout as you would expect. You almost might think of it as just a really beefy halfling, a little bit taller, but well formed and wearing huge skulls on either as pauldrons, and furs and boots are basically bear claws. So it looks like they're actually made out of the paws of bears. They have a shield which on one side has all these bones kind of protruding, like rib bones of large creatures kind of protruding out. And this very large sword that's almost as tall as they are, kind of leaning against the wall, and a helmet sitting on the ground next to them. It looks like it's got kind of teeth coming out of it all around. Sitting across from them is a halfling. You think probably a Ghostwise halfling, bald and huge bags under the eyes, a big ugly grin, kind of just dark all throughout the eyes, and wearing this kind of leather jacket and a leather button-up vest underneath with a little bit of a poof up underneath the chin, and he's got a glove, a blue glove, only on his right hand, and he has a cane.
I want to go over there and bother them.
Rosie,
I mean, to be
You
fair,
know,
he does that.
they-
Sometimes we meet very interesting people,
Mm,
but
they kind of look like adventuring types. A
they
little
might
bit.
be. They might be from one of the guilds. It's possible.
Even
So it might be worth going anyway. Sorry, Owen. Sorry.
I was going to say that you could always just go and say hello rather than bother them, but you know.
What good would I be as a bard if I wasn't a nuisance constantly?
I guess.
Yeah.
I guess I didn't look into
Yeah,
the job
you
description
guess.
all that thoroughly.
Yeah, you guess.
You are a thorough nuisance, but one that I enjoy. Both of you.
You're not going to for very long.
That was really ominous.
Yeah, it was supposed to be.
Just a bit, yeah.
No, I think I've dealt with enough ominous things. I can use a little less, actually.
I promise, it's not life and death. It's just me being a nuisance.
Callie gets up from the table, walks over, and says hello while they're all bickering.
That sounds about right.
So you get up and you walk across the room over to this table. So kind of towards the back, next to the old stage that's covered up with a tarp and stuff.
Good afternoon.
As you walk up, hold on. As you walk
Sorry.
up, the halfling makes eye contact with you, and kind of just realizes you're kind of walking towards them, and just kind of turns towards their companion or his companion, and whispers. Well, kind of says something. You didn't quite hear it though with the bard's loud is, and then kind of just turns looking away, like he's trying to signal you that they don't want to be bothered.
Afternoon, gentlemen. Can I buy you guys a drink? I haven't seen you around in here before, and you look like you've got some interesting stories to tell.
With no stories to tell you. Thank you, though. He
I
kinda
hate him
turns and
already.
looks.
Is that the halfling?
Yeah.
Oh,
I feel
well,
personally attacked.
that's a pity. I would have enjoyed swapping stories with you, I think. What brings you into town?
Business.
Lucrative business, I hope.
Always. But it is what you make it.
Very true. What type of business? I might know someone who can help.
Doubtful. I have all the connections I need. Thank you.
Noted. Well, if you have need of anyone who can help you get in or out of trouble, let me know. I shall stick a hand out. Callie, it's nice to meet you.
He doesn't seem to move his right hand at all. Actually, he doesn't move either of his hands, but his left hand you can see kind of move, and he kind of just changes and drums his fingers. His right hand, the one covering the glove, doesn't move at all.
Nathan's gonna come over.
You know, usually it's polite to give your name back once someone else has given theirs.
As Nathan walks up, Castron,
Nice to
Not
meet you, Castron.
at your service.
Not a problem. Well, Castron, have a lovely day. And again, should you need anything, feel free to call on me. And she'll just kind of bob her head and walk back to the table.
How'd it go?
Name achieved. In
They look like
business,
dicks.
He kind of turns his head away from Nathan as he's coming out, trying to give Nathan the same signal that he's trying to give Callie that was ignored.
I was trying to say, as Callie walks by Nathan stops, kind of touches her and kind of whispers, and just kind of, he's gonna say something, just kind of something really mundane, like, oh, how's the weather? And he's like, just kind of like talking to her to make it look like he's whispering to her, and he's gonna look at the gloved hand. Can I roll perception? Or investigation?
To see his hand not move? Sure.
To
Ta-da!
see if I can tell if it's prosthetic or if it's biological.
That
Like
wouldn't be perception, that would be investigation.
then investigation.
but no, not right now. I mean,
Oh, okay.
there's no clues or anything out there other than it's not. You have all the clues. You can make whatever assumption you want to make of. If he like does something and moves or like gets up, right now it's just an arm sitting on the table. There's really
Okay.
no reason to justify why you would. I mean, you can say, yeah, I think it's a prosthetic arm. That's about all you could know. It's your personal brain at this point.
Okay, so instead he is just gonna kind of study them
Sure.
and just kind of get a general vibe of like their energy, for lack of a better term. Just kind of trying to suss them. Like as he does that, he's gonna like whisper to Callie something stupid, like, "The water is wet and the pond is round." And he's gonna like put his hand on her shoulder and kind of walk.
She just nods sagely and walks back with Nathan.
So,
Peas and carrots, peas and carrots.
Watermelon,
Soda
watermelon,
water
watermelon.
Soda water rhubarb.
Watermelon.
All the theater junkies are here.
Color because that's how it should be.
they seem creepy as shit.
Just a tad.
They're in here on business, or at least in town on business. Name is Castern. Larkfellow did not speak at all.
There's a lot of kinds of business, though. I'm concerned about what theirs might be.
Something tells me it ain't greeting cards.
Right?
Most likely, but we're warned against vigilante action, so.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying do anything, just important to make a note.
Watch and wait.
So, speaking of watching and waiting, a few moments later, in walks two more very interesting figures. Two women, or at least one woman and one, what you initially thought was maybe a zombie or some other undead. The first woman is, you almost thought was a human, wearing all black and several pieces of maybe costume jewelry, maybe just very expensive, nice jewelry on her rings. She's wearing a small black hat with a veil on it. Almost looks like she's in mourning, all the way up to her neck in black, with just the only bit of contrast besides her skin being around. She's got this little frill that's got these white vertical stripes all the way around. But after a moment, you realize she's not. The skin tone is a little off. And after thinking about her, you realize she's an Aasimar. The one race I don't think I've had yet. And then the companion
love my angel babies.
looks worse. The companion you really look at, you instantly thought, you probably even reached for weapons because half the bar did, that it was some sort of undead creature. But after you study it for a moment, you realize some of you have seen this sort of visage before. It's a changeling in their true form. And she's gaunt and has these weird kind of stretched textures and potted kind of skin. Her hands almost look like they have sores on them, but they're not quite. They just look horrific. Long blonde hair, wearing a thorny crown, like a circlet of thorns, and carrying a very strange sword, a very beautiful metal sword that she kind of cradles to her as she carries it, not holding it like she would a weapon or having it in a holster, but just kind of holds it with them like she's carrying it for someone else.
Hey, Logan.
And she almost she has like a nice dress with like a little frill, but it gives a very strange tone with her.
Logan.
Yes.
She's
Oh,
my
and then go
daughter
and
now.
sit down with the two gentlemen you just met.
She's my daughter now. I have adopted her. She is mine.
All right.
I can't wait to be murdered by your daughter.
If she's my daughter, it's what she'll do best.
Fair.
Nathan's going to see the sword and kind of use that as his excuse to approach the two.
You gonna try to intercept them as they're walking across the bar?
Do they walk past near?
Technically, Well, technically, yeah. The shortest way would be past your table.
As he passed by, he goes, excuse me.
The woman in the veil does turn to look at you, but the other woman kind of turns away and hides her face a little.
He's gonna stand up and approach, just very, very calmly. Sorry, I couldn't help but notice your sword. He says the sword that you were holding, I don't know if it belongs to you.
So she continues to kind of just keep you just on the peripheral of her vision through her hair, and doesn't really speak to you. And the other woman turns and she won't speak to you.
That's fine, she doesn't need to. I can look away from you if that would make you more comfortable. Would that make her more comfortable?
Probably.
Okay. And he'd kind of stand a little more facing away from her and looking more towards the
So she
veil.
turns back a little bit.
Sorry, I'm an artist, and that sword is it's a work of art. It's just curious as to where'd you go?
It was her father's.
It's truly beautiful. He had good taste. Has good taste. I'm not sure of the circumstances.
It was a gift.
A gift indeed. And he's just gonna kind of politely offer a hand if she would wish to take it. Go, my name is Nathan.
Who are you offering it to?
The woman with the veil.
She'll politely take it and shake it.
Very, very noble.
Envarum.
Envarum.
You can call me Anne if you wish.
Pleasure to meet you, Anne. And your friend, if it's alright if I know her name.
Probably. Yin.
Yin? It's a pleasure to meet you too, Yin.
She actually nods a little bit. Does one little head nod.
Never seen either of you in town, are you new? Passing through.
Here to stay, but new, yes.
Oh. Where have you travelled from?
I wish I could tell you, but unfortunately that's not something we're allowed to discuss. House rules.
You're part of one of the guilds.
Correct.
Should have guessed. Well, it's a pleasure to meet you, and I hope to see you both more around.
I'm sure you will.
Yin, I just want to let you know, my friend, I know someone who's like, and for what it's worth.
Okay, go ahead.
For what it's worth, you know, doesn't bother me, for sure.
She turns and you think she's whispering, but no sound is coming out. Not to you, but to Anne. And she nods a little bit and says, you may know ones that look like me, but you do not know any like me, is what she said.
That is very fair.
She means that nicely.
I perceived it as such.
Sometimes I can distort her meaning.
I absolutely understand that full-heartedly. A lot of times people don't really get my intention when I say things. I guess I just... not... Yeah.
Can Rosie scramble up onto Nathan's shoulders?
Sure.
This
Because
point?
it's right next to the table. I figured they stopped right next to your table, so everyone is there.
Yeah, so
Oh yeah,
he's gonna
Teague is on.
scramble-
Not Teague. Wrong name. Fuck.
Thanks.
Key lime.
Keyline.
Keyline.
Keyline. Fuck. Keelan. God damn it. Heather. Keelan is on one shoulder. I'm assuming Bigsy is in his hammock, wherever the fuck the heck.
Rosie's gonna
It's a
climb up
pocket
onto
hammock.
Nathan's shoulder.
It's a DM Fiat hammock. No, he's actually probably outside, still tying up his mount.
Right.
So Rosie's gonna scramble up onto Nathan's shoulder. He's like,
Sorry, couldn't help it over here. I have big ears. Yeah, if you don't know him well enough, he seems like a pretty big jackass.
Thank you, Rosie.
What? You know I love you.
I don't think you
You just
help.
do sound like a jackass sometimes.
Right.
Do you mind if we ask what adventuring guild you're with?
Bad company.
Oh, that's interesting.
Nice name.
I've kind of wanted to join one.
We didn't choose it.
Would you recommend it? I think it just kind of pipes up from the table.
Would I recommend what?
Joining the guild that you're part of.
Bad company?
Yeah, it sounds
Don't
badass.
I don't think you have the stones.
What do you mean by that?
We know someone who's completely made of stone. Does that count?
Are there any sort of prerequisites to joining? Or do you just, like most people assume based on my size and stuff?
Based on how you two look, I'm assuming general badassery.
Not actually. Just the ability to desire to do whatever is necessary. Or what's not necessary.
Is it a bad time to mention that I've eaten hands?
Were the people alive when you did it?
Sometimes. Not very often, but sometimes.
Probably at least get an audition.
Nice.
I feel like I might get an audition, but gonna keep that one a trade secret.
She reaches over into her bag, and you hear this little meow, and she pulls out a little kitten, and she puts it down in front of Finku, and then she puts down a copper, and then she puts down a dagger.
This is your choice.
Your size has no bearing on my decision. You've already hesitated too long.
No, sorry.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
I think it was just when the cat goes down. Does this feel like a familiar?
No, I wouldn't say that it feels like a familiar. It's kind of walking around looking like a it's acting like a kitten would. It's not acting like a kitten. It's usually full grown. This is a baby kitten.
Can I
It's like
grab
just
the
kind of
kitten?
stumbling around.
No.
So you're gonna stop this from happening?
Maybe. I don't know. I have a feeling I don't like where this is going.
Give me a wisdom
just
save.
his hand just sort of drifts over to the knife.
You said wisdom?
Mm-hmm.
What did you say, Russ? Because it caught out, at least for me.
His hand is drifting over to the knife.
Kelly stands up and walks out.
Okay. Well,
Doesn't say anything, just leaves.
Hold on. As you're standing up.
That's an 11.
All right, so you reach over and you to try to touch a kitten, and it kind of like bounces kind of away from your hand, but you touch it, you feel it.
Finker picks up the knife and then just grabs the blade end and just passes it back.
She waves her hand as Callie's about halfway to the door, and the kitten disappears.
Mhm.
She picks up the copper.
Not worth it.
And you look over and you see the halfling finishing up casting the spell and stopping maintaining the spell on it, which is why you didn't see them cast. Obviously, the four of them are in very good sync, and she kind of nods. Is Callie still leave?
Yeah, she didn't look back. She just left.
Okay.
She didn't want to know.
All right.
Regardless, Finker wouldn't have done it anyway. Just putting it out there.
Nice meeting you all. And the two of them will continue on. I was thinking the kitten.
Oh, one more thing.
She'll stop and turn.
I just wanted to say, your friend has a very nice dress. I really like it. It's pretty.
Yin leans over and whispers, but nothing comes out. And she turns and she says, "Thank you." Nicely. And she turns and starts walking away.
It's like those aliens from Mass Effect that have to say their emotion before they speak.
Yeah, of course.
Kelly, you get outside, and all you hear is, "Waffle! Waffle! Get over here!" Where'd you go?
Having trouble, Binksy?
No, nothing happened.
Did he
He just
lose
kind of sits
Waffle?
down.
Is Cockatrice Mount just get loose in the city?
Do you want some help?
Maybe.
All right, let's go find him.
I think he went this way.
All right, come on.
Give me a tracking check, survival.
Shit. That is a 25.
Okay. Within a few seconds, you find the cockatrice like nestling in and snuggling behind a bush, like 10 feet away. Oh, good. He's stronger than he looks.
But gotta just remember, a chicken is a chicken, even if they're arcane or not. And she'll, having now deftly practiced handling her chickens, scoops
this one's
up
muzzled,
Waffle.
so it can't bite you.
Yeah.
And it's got little tiny chicken blinders on, and a little bit and harness, and straps, and a little saddle. And yeah, he takes you over, and he has you tied up to a little thing, and then you guys, okay, let's go. He starts walking inside.
Do you want a shoulder or you want to walk?
Oh, sure. He'll climb up on your shoulder.
Alright. Callie will open the door for Binksy and do a quick look and see if the table is occupied by those people or not. And seeing that it's not,
No,
we'll
they're gone.
go sit back down.
Okay. There's no kitten blood on the table.
She just kind of nods.
You know,
I don't know why that was the test. Like, if it's doing what has to be done, what was the whole point of?
Yeah, that wouldn't be necessary
I
in any
think-
Yeah,
context.
it wasn't.
I
I think
think,
what
What
what had to be done was to turn it down because there was no stakes.
I think it. To be honest, I don't think that was a real audition.
No,
I think that
I
was
think-
more of a display of values.
I also think the copper was supposed to be the stakes in this situation. I get the feeling that her point was, we're willing to do anything for money, and we're all not. So
I mean, I don't necessarily disagree with that, but doing anything for any money is a bad way of living. I'm not saying that I'd ever want to kill a kitten, but I'm not saying that I'm saying that a copper wouldn't be enough to sway me or anyone to do that. More money,
Well,
probably. Money drives people.
I think this goes to show, more than anything, what I've been thinking for a while is if we really want to get into the adventuring business, we really should do it on our own terms.
that's the way I'm leaning too. I mean, the Birchfield people aren't that bad, but I don't think they necessarily want a group like us. They seem like they've got very set goals, like they're the Seekers, the ones that are out in the bay right now. So we'd have to go explore in other areas, and we've got a lot of stuff going on in the town right now.
Well, to be fair, we have enough people just on our own to start a guild and be a guild. So we practically are.
I mean, honestly,
Just
we
don't have the benefits
Yeah.
for it yet.
Yeah.
I mean, the only downside is that we might then end up competing against some of the other groups, but I mean,
And we'd all have to don't they all have to relocate together when they all eventually move?
I don't know about
If they
that
move.
part.
If they've been moving, they seem rather nomadic.
I think they moved here because they weren't really allowed in the city before.
That's fair.
But, yeah, what it comes down to is really the reason why we want to have some sort of guild affiliation is for resources. It's to get access to items, whatnot, get a little bit of respect. Honestly, I'd much rather get that on our own terms without signing on to anyone's ideology, whether we know it or not.
I agree.
I agree with that 100%. I mean, none of us is perfect. We've all got issues and whatnot. No one's 100% normal after everything we've all been through. But at the same time, at least we all know where we stand with each other and everything for the most part. So I feel like that's a better option.
If we get good enough disguises, I'd be down for the soft paws, but I'm not sure that's sustainable.
Well, Mari could. Mari could join the soft paws.
So could Pip.
So
True.
could Pip. So could Pip. They were so nice. I really liked.
Honestly, I mean, it seems like there's enough groups under the Steel Syndicate that we could potentially all join different ones. But the only problem is, I mean, then we're under the Steel Syndicate, and also B, then there's the chance that our two groups might have to go against each other, maybe? I don't know how it works.
Also, there's the fact that I don't like Hasko.
I didn't meet him, but yeah, it sounded like a lot you guys didn't.
I thought you said Costco.
I really don't like Costco. Same. It's very loud.
Yeah, I think if we do go down this road, it'll be a good idea to consider doing it on our own.
I do know that the other day when we were at the tea garden saying what we thought was saying goodbye to Mo, all of us that were there that day were talking about this, and Kurt overheard us and said that sometime this week, he didn't tell me a day, he was supposed to tell me the day when I talked to him later, and I didn't get it yet, but sometime this week there's supposed to be a meeting about the adventuring guilds, so we could look into that. And he also said that if we decided to start our own, he'd support our efforts in trying to do that. And apparently Afra doesn't speak badly of us, which kind of surprised me. But, so that might be someone, too, that we'd have in our corner if we start our own.
I think Afra is a bit too intelligent to start out as polarizing as she probably wants to be. This is an entirely new organization, and she doesn't know everyone's affiliations on that group. I wouldn't be surprised if she's playing it safe.
Oh, that's fair. He also, to be fair, he didn't say that she was saying we're amazing or that she loves us or anything, but apparently she did say that we're good at getting the job done, which that at least I think is fair. We didn't get the job done that we thought we were doing, sort of, but we did get it done.
We got a job done.
Yes, we got the job we were assigned done. It just wasn't what we thought it was.
No, it wasn't.
Through no fault of our own.
So, should we go talk to someone about that then? About when the meeting is, that we could find out more information?
This sounds as good a plan as any. I thought we were also going to potentially... Do we want to do that today, or do we want to research? Find out more about the handmaidens?
I'd like to try and get that poor girl out of that gem.
Yeah, it seems a little more
That's true.
sensitive.
Well, yeah, I agree. We need to get Javea out of there as soon as we can. Did you find anything this morning?
Not
You guys
quite.
also already done a lot of research on the handmaidens, at least one day's worth before, so
Yeah, we
there's
did.
not a lot more information out there. At least not within those groups. You know, secret societies stay secret by not having books published about them. Or because nobody cares about them.
Do we know anyone who'd have ties to that kind of an organization?
No. Apart from
not
Javea,
really.
no. And Saldana, maybe, but again, we don't have a way of talking
What
to
if we went-
Saldana.
What if we tried to find her?
I was
Oh.
thinking we... Go ahead.
I was going to say I was ascending to talk to her, but that was it. Go ahead, Owen.
Well, I was just gonna say, I think Gervais is our best chance of finding Sildana.
I don't know if that's necessarily true, but I mean, you definitely, yeah. She definitely would know where Sildana is out of everyone.
Or where she
Or-
was.
Yeah.
Where she was.
Yeah.
I don't know that there's harm in trying to reach out to Saldana with Ascending and then continuing on with finding out information about Javea. It doesn't seem like this needs to be an exclude one and ignore the other situation.
I wasn't
No, I
like
agree.
that, but either way, we also don't know how long Gervais has been in the gem. We don't know how long ago that's been a thing.
Please, can we at least try sending?
I can't do that.
I
Flipping
can't
it
either.
on.
I believe Rosie's the only one who can.
Oh, I can.
You can cast sending.
Yeah. Didn't I do it before? Swear to God, I did it before. But yes, I can.
He's gonna kind of hold Banksy in his hands, just kind of cup him, and just sitting in his hands. Would you be able to let me cast it?
Yes. I think I could probably maybe do that. It would take up a lot of my energy, but I think I could do that.
Can we do that right now?
Yeah, only because I'm connected as you're familiar. I couldn't do this normally, but I think I can reverse things and make it happen.
Okay.
You mean right now?
Yes.
Oh. Hold on. And he kind of gets ready and he kind of just wiggles in place. And okay, hold on.
I have to write this out. Hold up. Also,
Don't forget the
Are you
king's
ready
message,
now?
Nathan. That was
What?
important. She
What?
should she should hear the king's message too. If you can work it in, it's important.
I don't. What was the king's message?
It was,
Looking
I
it up right
forgive
now.
you. I understand. I would like to speak with you if at all possible.
That's gonna limit my words to her.
That's
I
12
know.
words out of 25.
I'm not good at maths.
Worst case, I can also cast it. I only really use sending it to talk to Haley, so.
You could just, I mean, we could always give her the exact message later. You could just say that the king's alive, he forgives, wants to talk, and then do the rest of your message. Because we could always tell her the full message later. It's not something we've got to do right this second. If we get a hold of her, she can send back to us, and then we can send back to her, so there's options. Let's see if we can even talk to her in the first place first.
I was gonna say, this might be a long shot to start with.
I know it's
He's... Oh,
Yeah, frozen. We know it's not his internet though.
hey!
Welcome back. Welcome
I
back.
keep going into the red, and it's pissing me off.
I'll try changing the server. See if that helps.
Yeah, because it's been super choppy for me like this whole time.
We may use the same internet, but you should also know that my laptop is a gaming laptop and his is a generalized laptop. So,
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Is we know it's not the internet because you didn't go down.
All right.
Alrighty, that might help. We're now on the West Coast server. Sorry, thank you. Sorry. That was the delay from being so far away on the
Okay.
server.
That was the joke.
He's gonna.
Sorry. Tired.
It's fine. It's fine.
Gonna kind of sit there and think of what he's gonna say for a second, because he's got a lot to say to her.
Mm-hmm.
A lot.
As you're sitting there thinking, the door opens. And in walk two very beefy sort of gentlemen that you've seen before, and Anika.
Yay! Oh,
And Anika sees you and kind of waves and then walks past you, as she seems to be heading over to the table with the 4 people.
good to see you too.
I'll be back.
You better.
She keeps going over. And then she sits down with them, and the bodyguards try to be bodyguards, and she just like, go away. They kind of just split off to the sides, and she just sits down with them.
Rosie's gonna walk over to the bodyguards and just be like, "Hey, have you ever had the egg tubes here?"
No.
Don't. And then she's gonna walk away.
All right. He goes over and buys an egg tube.
From the table, just
Like-
yelling, "I warned you!"
Like guerrilla fucking marketing. Whatever you do, don't eat the egg tubes. Now I don't want to know why.
Reverse psychology.
Alright, let me see if he,
Listen, either he
let's see if he likes
listens
it.
to me and I made an influence, or he
Oh
helps
my
Ivy and,
god,
like,
he gets it halfway in his mouth, like the texture touches his tongue. He's like,
I told you. I could
Right.
make so many jokes.
Told you.
Now,
I could make so many jokes.
now, Rosie, it's odd that you have a disdain for the egg tubes, given you frequently mention that you've eaten hands.
They're a lot tastier than egg tubes.
That's concerning.
They've got a
I
similar
agree.
consistency to carrots,
I'm
but they taste like ham.
Nathan's gonna stand up and walk away because there's a lot of sounds and it's stressing him the fuck out. He's so stressed.
Mood, that was my life today.
Yep, neurodivergency is not fun sometimes. So he's gonna go to like a corner and just kind of sit down and think. He's literally not a corner, it's around fucking space. I don't give a shit.
Alright. We know.
He's gonna go to one of the walls that has the least amount of one of the sides. That is the least sides. That's an area without people.
Fine.
And he's just gonna, with Minxie in his hands, just kind of think.
Kelly, I'm not sure if you heard, but Anika walked in and went over to talk to Bad Company.
Okay. If that was the case, then Callie would have tried to have caught Anika's eye, and can I talk to you after? Kind of.
She said she was coming back over after.
Okay,
that.
cool. I wasn't sure.
So Nathan's just gonna kind of. Okay, Minxie, ready?
Yeah. Are you ready? Okay, come here. Come closer. A little closer. He just kisses the tip of your nose. All right, now we can start. And then he takes a couple minutes and he kind of just sits there and focuses his energy. And I need you to make a caster level check.
How do I do that?
You roll a d20 and
Add your charisma bonus. Charisma for Warlock.
Your charisma bonus. Yeah, add charisma. So a charisma check.
All right, handsome, you can do this. I believe in you. I say that in his voice. Speaking of handsome, I know exactly what dice I'm going to use.
That was a good roll. Or a really bad roll. Oh, okay. All right.
22.
Nice. That's a really good roll.
I use the N word.
Right.
I'm fucking gonna cry.
Oh. So so you then end up casting. Ow.
Did you just whack your hand?
Really bad.
Oh,
my
Sam.
damage,
We all simultaneously made the same exact facial expression.
actually.
We
The
had to clip Just ow.
I expressed with my hands, and then there's a table here. That's a stupid
Oh,
way to
Logan.
work. So yeah, you feel the energy come through, and you cast sending to Saldana.
Hi. It's me.
What?
Oh my god, stop it. Hi, it's me. I miss you. The king's alive. But it's not
And
bad.
about there is where you feel the magic fade and fail. Wherever Saldana is, whether she's alive or not, you can't get a hold of her.
He just slumps over. Thank you for trying, Banksy.
He kind of pats you on the shoulder.
Thanks.
He's okay.
I hope it is. Go pick Banksy up and put him on his shoulder. If he wasn't already there, I don't know what our situation
He'll
was.
climb up there, yeah.
I imagined him sitting on.
Yeah, I thought he was sitting in your lap or something.
Yeah, probably. And he's just gonna go back to the table. He's gonna kind of slowly go to see if they're still being really loud, because if they are, he's gonna stay back for a little bit longer. But if they kind of quieted down, he'll just kind of move over.
Sounds like they've quieted down. Probably in anticipation of your return.
Do you need headpads, Nathan?
No, I'm good on the headphones.
Did the spell go through all right? That's the same thing that happened to Pinball. So now we don't know where Saldana is. That's not concerning or anything.
Maybe she just doesn't want to be found.
Does that... Go ahead, Finka.
Well, I was just thinking she could be in her own gem.
That's entirely possible.
That's
Is
possible,
someone
yeah.
do this once to stop them doing it again?
Well, I was also gonna say, does that spell go across planes?
I don't know.
Yes, it does. I'm pretty sure it does.
It
I'm
has
not
a chance
sure.
of failing across planes, but
Yeah.
yeah, I think it can. I don't know if there's a
I
restriction.
think it's only like a 10% chance that it would fail. I think.
It's only a natural one, but yeah.
I had control over the magic. I did. I had a very strong
5%,
grasp
1%.
on it.
5%.
I had
Yeah,
a
the
really...
spell did not fail. Well, it could. That could have been it, but to have that happen twice would be very unlikely.
I had a strong grasp on the magic. It just failed.
Firmly grasp it.
But honestly, at that point, we need to find Javea's name.
I agree. But where do we even start? I mean, all the research we've done on the handmaidens, we didn't find a lot.
I actually want to start with Anika.
Wait. I also have an idea. But we can talk to Anika first.
Anika is a lady of high standing. She seems to know a lot.
She does.
That's true. She's got a lot of information at her fingertips, so she might know something. That's a good idea.
While she may not be a monarch, she is on a council at a high level of a seat, so if they're designed to protect whoever's in charge, she could be someone. Either that or, what's her face, Vassifra, as the head of the council, perhaps.
Yeah, I guess we could go talk to Vassifra.
The only issue is between those two. If either of them had any sort of secret, I don't think either of them would be the telling tap.
I think... well, you've got a point. I mean, it might depend on what we offered them instead.
I feel like Anika might be slightly easier to convince, though.
We're only asking for a contact. We're not asking for her secrets.
We are asking for a contact for a secret society. That is kind of inherently a secret.
I can talk with her.
The idea I also had, I don't really know how much merit there is to this, but I wonder if there's any sort of documents or anything that could have survived the castle falling into the ocean that might have her
Wait a
name
second.
somewhere.
The book.
Wait. The king's still in town, ain't he?
Yeah, he's on the boat.
Would he know?
Isn't he the one who signed her to her?
No. She was a
Or
servant.
something?
Lark encouraged her to go seek out the queen. She said she wanted to be a queen service. She was shining shoes.
Yeah.
But that
he
book...
still could know. It was just an idea, because obviously they must have records of the people who work there. I don't know.
Which, you mean the book that Nyx picked up? The one that was Helia's?
Yeah, it was perfectly preserved like mine is.
Right, but it was I mean, we could look through it, there might be something, but it was definitely a religious text. Actually, I do want to get that back from Nyx, though, because I'd kind of like to give it back to him.
Well, you guys know best, I'm sure, so I will defer.
We could definitely look into it, but Nyx has it, so we'd have to go get it from them.
Would there be any chance of the king knowing?
Maybe.
Might as well give it a shot.
But he probably only knows the name Javea, which is what all of us know.
And I was gonna say, given what we know now, I don't think the king knew as much as we thought he did.
That's fair.
If I were in his position, there'd be a lot of things that I'd actively try to forget.
I mean, that's fair.
I would still caution us against giving up on a solution or a potential avenue of questioning before we even try it.
True. I'm just trying to think what all of our avenues are.
When you fought was it a wraith or something, or a white that took on Saldana's form? What was that?
I wasn't there for that one.
Were any of you there for that?
Bad Company
No.
and Anika get up and part ways with nods, no handshakes. Bad Company leaves and Javea goes and talks to... excuse me.
Javea?
Anika goes and talks to Ivy for a moment. Once Bad Company is gone, she kind of heads over, stretching a little bit, and relaxing and sitting down next to you guys with a beer.
So,
Negotiation?
Yeah. They're trying to I don't know. They're just lobbying for their ideals and their goals. The Birchfield is much nicer to deal with. It's one person I deal with. The whole council deals with one person. Here we've had to meet with almost every group individually, and they all want their say, and they have their own ideas of what it would look like. It's very obnoxious.
What if you had a group of people that you already know and trust to deal with?
I don't know if I could deal with any more people.
You're dealing with us already.
That is so relatable, though.
That's an interesting idea. They keep offering to sweeten the pot. I don't even know. I mean, I know what that means. I know what they're trying to get at, but I don't know if I want to go that far into things right now. I mean, we don't have any ethics guidelines yet, but there's some standing rules, you know, new government. Let's not start taking bribes right away.
Owen just coughs in the corner.
He kind of turns and looks at Owen. Yes?
Just saying, you're in clear earshot. Someone who intends to be working with the guard. Subtlety is sometimes a good idea.
Well, when we have laws and rules in place, I'll make sure not to say anything.
Like you'd rat on us anyway.
You'd never
believe he would.
rat on us.
If it was big enough, he would.
Yeah, I have to agree, actually. I think if it was
Big
a
enough.
big enough thing,
Yes.
I might.
So, what about those 50 villagers I murdered, like, in the past 3 weeks? Is that
Oh,
big
you know
enough?
that one
Don't worry
time
about
Owen was
Okay,
home
good,
wearing
good,
the
good.
guard uniform? He woke up because you blacked out drunk. Was that it? And you had a man hogtied on your floor? I'm sorry, but we're gonna talk about that.
We didn't tell you guys any of that.
Yeah, you have no idea about
No
that.
one
I
knows
thought
that.
Nathan was there.
Nope.
Oh,
Nope.
No
It was
one
Sassy
knows
and
that.
That was
Owen,
left out
and
of the
we
book.
didn't tell anybody.
Oh,
That's their dark secret.
damn it. Never mind that.
I will find
Yeah.
out
No, no.
eventually.
We're the only
I-
two people who
I'm-
know, and we haven't said a goddamn
Haley
thing.
almost-
We
Stop
agreed
that.
literally to never speak of it ever again.
And they
That's
have both
amazing.
held
You
to
are
it.
monsters.
We need
You
to
are
figure out what
monsters.
episode that is. I want to go watch that again.
That was
That was
fucking
amazing.
hilarious.
There
Oh, it's
is
Um,
a creed
anyways,
between bards.
Oh, I'm sorry. I
Snitches
thought-
get stitches.
If any of you did something so bad that I'd snitch on you, you weren't my friends anymore anyway.
There you
So
go.
I think you're good.
That's fair.
That's also fair. Also, I'm pretty sure
That's
Owen
about
could
it.
stitch himself. He's kind of a good healer.
I suppose that's how that works. Anyway, so how are you all?
You can't stitch stuff that's in my stomach.
I have a question for you.
Wait, are any of you still mad at me?
No.
No,
No.
we know
No.
what
Just
happened, so
checking.
we're good.
All right.
Owen
Yes,
didn't say
Callie.
anything.
I'm not mad. We've had our disagreements, but you're well aware of it.
I've forgotten most of them. I'm sorry. All right, you're the one that stormed out in the middle of me making amends with Nathan. That's right. Don't wait for the whole story or anything, Mr. Guard.
I'm sorry, when I hear someone call their constituents idiots, I lose my temper a bit.
Well, most of them are.
There's one of those disagreements again. You're real good at remembering them, apparently.
Well, you just brought it up. Yes, Callie.
I had a question for you. You are in a position of considerable sway and influence,
Some people seem to think so.
and grew up amongst nobility, yes? Is my understanding?
No, I had to fight tooth and nail to get where I am.
I apologize.
Marry a couple of the right people, but that's, neither here nor there.
My apologies.
She looks at Owen. They didn't die mysteriously or anything.
No, that was mine.
One was definitely murdered. Wasn't me. I promise. It was a political dispute.
Anyway, I was curious if you knew anything about an order, the Handmaidens of the Court.
I've heard of it. Very, very old, and I haven't heard of it being around for a long time.
We know of a former member, and we're interested in finding out more information. I was hoping that maybe you would have someone we could contact potentially, or know of where we might start. All of our searching in libraries and such has been fairly fruitless. I thought a woman of such power might have a few connections.
I didn't even know they were still around. I might have heard about them in history books. I could ask around, but if I haven't heard about them, I don't think they exist anymore.
I suppose.
Do you want me to look into it?
If you wouldn't mind, discreetly, that would
I
be.
could try, sure.
Thank you. I
Do you
appreciate
have
it.
any leads?
Unfortunately, no.
Nothing set in stone. Okay.
Nothing set in stone. Mainly,
That was a good fucking joke.
sorry, Tessa was in brain of trying to actually focus.
It's too subtle for Tuesday evening, I guess.
I would appreciate it.
Sure.
The bad company, did they say anything about what exactly they were trying to sweeten the pot with?
No, they made, just worth my while. Making sure that I was rich and popular and blah, 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 blah. It's the same things that all these groups try to push. The ones that are willing to push anything. They're less than subtle.
Well, that's good to know. I might be interested to see what they had that they were trying to put on the table. But then again,
I'm sure it'll get there if things keep going not their way. But we'll see. Some
I'm
of their
nosy.
requests are not unreasonable.
Well, if you think it might be interesting to have a group that you know well, that you could rely on, rather than these outside folks to do work, that's not a bad idea. You do know a group that's got a fairly diverse set of skills and has been known to follow through.
We're not opposed to the idea. I mean, you would just have to meet all the requirements we're considering putting in place.
Do you know what some of those are? Because we've been talking about it a bit, but we weren't sure when you guys were having your council meeting about it, and we weren't sure exactly
We've
what.
had several over the past few weeks, but we'll have a few more coming up here. It's a long process. That's why I'm not too worried about pushing people for answers. Everyone knows it's a slow burn. I would say, hopefully by the end of the year, we've got something settled.
Good to know.
But, some of the restrictions, mostly right now we're concerned about revenue for the city. The rules about selling magic items are being fought over right now.
What's going on with that?
There has been an unsanctioned monopoly in that area. Only one organization has been allowed to sell crafted magic items above an alchemical level within the city's limits, and they've been exorbitantly expensive, and only certain people have been able to afford them, other than the things they do out of the niceness of their hearts by selling the city things like the street lights and the minor stuff, the stuff that can be done by any acolyte or apprentice. So we've been dealing mostly with that, and they, a very powerful organization within the city, do not wish to just let anybody open a magic crafting business.
I mean,
Isn't that
I can
against-
understand that, obviously, from their perspective, but wouldn't it benefit the city for that to happen?
Not necessarily.
I would think there might be a conflict of interest, given that one of the heads of that organization is currently also the head of the council.
Can you prove that?
Probably
I
not.
would love to have that information
Yeah, nothing,
in a provable form.
yeah,
I do not have it in a
unfortunately.
provable form.
Then all we have is hearsay and empty threats. And the person that I think you're speaking of is very smart and knows that very well. That being said, right now the prices of magic items are extremely high. And as the adventure guilds are going to come here, they're going to need items, and they're going to be selling and trading items. If it's all done through one company, that means a larger amount of revenue for that company, but also, as part of the negotiations, means the taxes can be extremely high as well. It could be more profitable to allow them to keep the monopoly. It's a horrible solution for the economy of the city, but for the revenue of the city itself, it might make sense.
So you're not really sure what to do yet.
It's a question of long-term growth versus short-term payday.
And short-term payday right now is very important because the city is expanding faster than we have income coming in, and the people are not going to accept a major tax right up front. The people that are going to take this burden are going to be the businesses and the adventuring companies. We are considering straight off the bat a 7,000 gold application fee just to apply to become one of the groups, and that'll apply for any sanctioned individual group. And the way I understand that the Steel Syndicate, they want all to be individuals under an umbrella, so they will each have to pay that. The
Wow.
Birchfield will get off easy in that situation. That's the first consideration we have on the table right now. They're of course trying to negotiate that down, although the Birchfield, strangely enough, is negotiating it up. They know that it's going to hurt the Steel Syndicate. But that right there is one of the major considerations, because as adventurers come into the city, well, that makes sense. We're considering also a 20% tax on everything that's brought back into the city, and of any historic value or any real value, meaning magic items or trinkets or art or anything like that found anywhere else. So when you sell it to a vendor or whatever, then you'll pay a 20% use and trade tax.
Say if you didn't sell it and you just kept it, like,
it's technically being used within the city limits, and you live within the city limits, so you're supposed to declare it and report it.
It's kind of what I was
et cetera,
asking,
et cetera.
because, you know, like, we've found things that we are currently using. Obviously, these rules aren't in effect
Well,
yet.
there's no
but,
rules right now, so find everything you're ever going to need before they start, and you're good to go.
I mean, we can try, but it doesn't work like that.
And I need to take a trip to Highwater.
Good luck.
Thanks, I need it.
So what do you think on a personal level? What do you think is better for the city?
On a personal level, coming from my background, or a personal level as a politician?
Both. I'm interested in both.
It is very hard to manipulate a monopoly, especially one so long rooted. So as my personal professional opinion, I would love to see it opened up. As for my political opinion for the city, I have proposed that we allow them to continue their monopoly for a short time, say 2 to 3 years, until everything is established and we get the revenue. Then we open things up. And by that point, though, they may have opened shops in every corner of the city and may be able to maintain it even after. May have driven some other businesses out and shut them down.
I mean,
I worry about
telling someone to come back in 3 years is essentially saying don't come back at all, because if they're setting up now, they're not going to come back in 3 years. Everyone knows that.
Agreed. I think competition is best.
Yeah, to be honest.
I think
to be honest,
you've got I think you've got a difficult decision that needs to be made, and I don't envy that.
The main thing is, if this organization is allowed to continue this monopoly indefinitely, well, we can say goodbye to any bargaining power we have. That's a lot to hold over a city.
I agree. I can't control everything. And I don't know which way I'm going to vote yet either. But I'm leaning towards allowing other groups to be in. Now, tell me, why not just join up with the Steel Syndicate or the Birchfield? I'm sure they have a lot of benefits that would help you.
To be honest, there's something very appealing about not having to take orders from someone if you don't necessarily agree with what the orders are.
Yep.
Yeah, but
Well,
we get to choose which jobs we take.
That's
if
really
we
good point.
worked for ourselves anyway. We were actually
If you
discussing this
choose
before you
which
came.
job, how many jobs do you think you're going to turn down before people just stop coming to you and go to the places that people will do the jobs? How are you going to bill yourself as different than them?
I think people will respect a company that's above board and won't take anything sketchy, anything that hurts people unnecessarily. There is a certain amount of respect that goes with treating people well.
That's all well and good, Owen, but also a lot of people are going to avoid us for that same reason. And that's what
I
Anita's
would
talking
also
about.
say veteran people they're not forced to take any jobs that they don't want to do. We just wouldn't be able to do those jobs. We just let them be done by other people, which they'd be done by other people anyway. We don't, it's all on, we choose which jobs we accept, even if we're in a different guild.
But you're also agreeing to be part of an organization that will reflect upon you.
I agree. I'm not saying I'm not saying I disagree. I'm thinking about it as disconnected as I can, I guess, for right now. But I understand your point, and I don't necessarily want to be working under shady business practices, but
My main thing is I'm just not a fan of being defined by something I didn't create myself.
Well, there's also the fact that Haskell basically told some of our friends that went and talked to him that if you refuse jobs that he's assigned you, or that you're handed, if you refuse enough of them, that he's going to kick you out anyway. So even if we formed our own group and were part of that Steel Syndicate thing, if we said no to enough of the jobs that we didn't want to do, they might kick us out anyway.
Yeah.
And with the Birchfield people, they seem nice enough, but the captain there also said that sometimes she gets handed jobs that she doesn't necessarily agree with 100%, but she has to do it if she wants to toe the company line. And that doesn't particularly sound appealing either, so...
Either way, we don't have to figure this out right now. Just something to be thinking about.
Anika, is Bad Company meeting with all of the counselors?
Only a few. We can't all meet with all of them.
This is a strange observation. You are the head of Greywall, yes?
Yes.
Is there a reason that the meeting wasn't in Greywall then?
This is close to their headquarters, and I
Oh.
want lunch.
That makes sense. I was just curious. I wasn't sure.
I mean, it's a good place to have
Also-
lunch.
She also knows that I
That's true.
frequent here and she likes spending time with me. Isn't that right, Anika?
That's exactly it. Absolutely, Nathan. You're always on my mind.
Oh,
You are
I'm
my first thought in the morning and my last thought when I go to bed at night.
Is she sitting next to him?
Did she do that choked kind of like
Yes.
and
No wonder you're not.
He's gonna like bump his shoulder into hers while he's laughing.
No wonder you're not getting any sleep.
Oh! I don't know how to take that, and so I'm gonna take it as a compliment.
You can do that if you wish.
I do
Oh,
my
that's
best
what I
work
would-
at night.
Which one you do?
Callie just grins at Anika. So do I. Or noon, or morning, or whenever.
Right after prayers in the morning.
Chickens need to be looked after 24/7, I understand.
Calling her needy.
Hmm?
Is that the same thing as horny?
No.
What?
No. I was being very literal.
No!
She has chickens.
I do.
Oh my
So
god.
Anika finished up her food and drink, and so I'm gonna head off. I've got to get back to work, and they're getting tired of standing over there in the corner like idiots. Well, they're trying to find a corner.
Do you really need
Good
them?
luck with that.
Round room.
I'm
We
also
all
going to
have
let you
them.
know that if he starts spewing something about the egg tubes, I said nothing.
All right.
Okay. Also, I didn't realize how far he could get things in the back of his mouth before choking.
Oof. Woof.
That's what Pimble said.
Also, nigga.
No, I said that on purpose.
I know
I
you did.
understand the innuendo. That's what I did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
We're right. Also, Anika, if you see Tybalt, let him know that you're both invited over for tea whenever you want. Next time you're both.
Maybe not the best idea right now.
Let me live, Rosie.
Oh, you don't know.
I will be over. And she ends up leaving. So, what are you guys doing now? We only got about 10, 15 minutes left for break.
So do we want to go who else were we going to talk to about Javea and the cord?
Earl.
That's right. Do we want to go talk to him then?
If we need someone else too, Daisy seems to know a lot of people around town. And tends to, generally be able to find answers to things. If we want to try. I also miss hanging out with her.
I
was
mean,
just
I
gonna
don't
say
have a
it.
problem with this.
You're both looking for reasons to go see her.
We could always split up if you wanted. Cover more ground that way.
No.
This is exactly when we get raided by Don't Split the Party. This exact moment.
Why don't we talk to Earl first, then we can figure out if we need to talk to Daisy.
Sounds like a plan.
All right.
I agree.
Besides, I haven't met this king yet, and actually, I did not say that. That's why I have not met him yet, and it would be interesting to put a face to the name.
Man, you're lucky I'm off my game tonight. I would have reacted to that before I got a chance to take it back. All right. Like half the other tables just kind of like.
I'm so confused. I totally missed what just happened.
Tessa said the wrong word.
Yeah. They mentioned they were going to go see the king out loud in front of a crowded bar. The dead
I
king.
meant to say Earl, and it came out King, because I'm a dummy. Well, shall we?
Sure.
All right. Oh, and I
Alrighty.
suppose we should take your boat, because I can't cast water walking on all of you.
I can also sit on people's shoulders.
I mean, I can't cast water walking, period. It's not something I can
At
do.
all.
Oh, okay.
The boat will do fine.
I think your boat's still down there, isn't it? Or did you bring it back up?
I'm assuming we brought it back up.
Probably, yeah. You don't want to pay to dock it down there, so it's expensive. All right. Plus, it's easy for two people to carry around.
Mm-hmm.
So, you guys go and get Owen's boat, and you head on down to Bilgeport. Anybody going to do anything on the way there or when you're down?
Hey, Owen, what's the name of your boat again?
I believe it was the none of your business.
None,
I think was the name.
Oh,
And it says none of your business.
Yeah,
I like
I
it.
thought it was
I like it.
I like the name Owen's Boat.
It doesn't need a goddamn name. It's a rowboat.
No, that's
Yeah.
fair.
He needs a
SS, it
name,
doesn't need a
Owen.
goddamn name. It's a rowboat. Got it.
You know, I thought
It's
y'all were
Rosie's now
so
personal
busy.
mission to
The
paint that on the
SS.
side.
You know, I thought y'all were so busy, but I must have missed the week y'all went to clown school because y'all have been on top of your game.
Oh, I was born
I-
like that. You
Okay,
should know this,
Owen?
Owen. You should be aware.
Okay, Joe, you can only use cutting words like 3 times a day, and you just try to use it on 6 people.
Soxy and I were not giving.
Yeah.
crap. So
You know,
That's
there's
fair.
3 right there. You go,
Owen,
Joe. One for each of them.
go up to Owen, like, you're pretty close to poke his chest. I thought you'd be proud of me.
I mean, for other things, yeah.
I'm learning a sense of humor. I mean, I've always had one. It's just been very suppressed.
We'll get you there. And he pats you on the shoulder.
You're an asshole.
It's
gonna pat his-
making your shopping list to get different colors of paint. It's just gonna be all around. Like, it's going to be completely around the boat.
SS, it doesn't need a name. It's a damn rowboat.
Yep.
Damn rowboat. It's all, but it's like, it's a damn rowboat. It's like a name.
It's a one word, yeah.
All
It's
right.
a long
Well, you guys enjoy your boat ride. It's a rowboat. and I'll lighten the load and just swim. How's that?
Sounds all right.
So
We'll
you
see you
have that
there.
T-shirt again. Make everyone feel awkward.
Well,
I'll make sure-
You and I both count as like half people when it comes to weight and like capacity. So
Well, you know, if you don't want me to make it awkward, she just strips off her shirt and then dives in. Pops her head up. Now it won't be wet.
Everybody at Bilgeport is very excited about this.
nice.
Well, all right
I
then.
need an adult.
I'm right
You're
here.
an adult. Everyone here is an adult.
I can't tell if Kit froze or if that's Nathan's expression.
That's Nathan's expression. That's just Nathan's face.
I don't really think she needed to remove her shirt. I'm pretty sure that it was plenty okay for the water. But you know, good for her.
I
And
don't
also
even wear
good
one.
For her. How?
That's impressive.
How is it that
Alrighty,
you get
guys.
reincarnated twice and you end up with a body like that? That's not fair.
Very loud discussion.
Third time's a charm, I guess.
Listen,
Her
both
point
of
is
them-
them,
different every
Okay,
time.
both of them
Okay.
prior were 4
I was
each.
gonna say, yeah, there's not any like
He's
there's
just
no
gonna
bad
read
ones
his
in the
book
box.
because he has no strength to help with the rowing.
Soxy will help row.
So you guys start rowing over to the ship. They're bringing up a big load of stuff and changing out some of the divers as you come up. And Chibs pops his head over as he sees you guys and kind of waves. Ooh,
Probably waves.
new people. Hey! And he tosses down the rope and tosses you a line to tie off the
Hey, what am I, chopped liver?
and drops the basket.
Callie
Owen
will
will climb
retrieve
up.
her dry shirt. Is that better, Owen?
I didn't say a goddamn thing. Thank you very much.
Just checking.
I just made a noise.
But
I
it's
didn't
always
really
Owen's
say
fault.
anything.
We blame Owen for a lot of shit when you're not here.
Fair.
Oh, constantly.
Every
my
time Owen
favorite
makes an
pastime.
off-color joke.
We're gonna
He's
turn
like, "Oh, Owen taught me how to do it."
we're gonna turn the damn it we're gonna turn it from the damn it Obama to just
Owen,
damn it.
Thanks,
Damn it,
Obama.
Owen.
Thanks, Obama.
Thanks,
That one.
Owen. Thanks, Keelan.
Thanks for doing.
Every time Rosie trips or messes up or does something wrong, every time everyone rolls a natural one.
Thanks, Owen.
God damn it, Owen.
So,
We can't.
as you get up to the top of the ship, Chibs is like, "So what can we do for you guys today?"
Well, if he's up for it, we were hoping to talk to your guest.
Oh, he was walking around the deck earlier. I think he's probably up for it. I'll have to get the captain though, of course.
Oh, of
That's
course.
fine.
Good, good, good. I want to share something with her.
Okay, you got it. And he heads off. And a little while later, the captain comes out, wearing just some tight brown pants, nice boots, leather boots, and a white sort of piratey tie in the front type shirt with big loose arms. And she's just comes walking up. Hello, everyone.
Hi again.
Hello. I don't
Hello.
believe I've had the pleasure. I'm Kalinda. It's nice to meet you.
Marrow, nice to meet you. I don't
Hello,
fraternize on my ship, so you can cut that out.
My apologies. I was just saying hello.
No, you weren't. She has a passive insight of 18, just so you know.
Yep. I rolled, what was my deception? What was it? Like a 25 or 24? And she
26.
still figured me out.
Yeah, I rolled a 19, so I got 27.
Hey, I'm
so.
love her. I'm
Um,
love her.
Here to see the king.
Well, we were hoping to for a
Sorry,
bit
here to see Earl.
if he's all right with it. Yeah.
I will go and check. And she kind of nods and Chips runs off. I am checking right now.
Thank you.
Everyone else been here?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
Finku and I are maybe the
She'll
only
shake
two that have it.
Finku's hand. And nice to meet you, sir.
Nice to meet you too. I'm Finku. Hello.
Oh wait, that's right. This is the metal, like mechanical boat. Finku's
Correct. This
probably
is a
in
metal
heaven.
ship with
Because
gigantic
Finku-
air pumps on the deck, like large mechanical bellows that seem to be
Just laying on the floor.
powered. But you don't see any fires.
Finku is in his happy
and,
place.
And they've got these big tubes that go down, and as people are coming up in the basket to be changed out, they have these big, gigantic, deep sea suits that they're wearing.
So yeah, before the captain got Finku's attention, he was just looking around at everything, just like, yes, let me go explore. So, yeah, this ship is gorgeous.
Thank you. It is the
How does it
finest in
work?
the fleet.
How does it work?
I'll have Chids give you a tour.
Please,
a little later.
please, please. I'd really appreciate that.
One please will suffice.
He's really into mechanical things.
I was going to say,
No.
who isn't? But she would not say that.
Mood? Oh, worm.
Finku is going to just make noises again, I guess.
I guess.
Chids comes running out and kind of nods to her, and she goes, right this way?
Thank you. Callie kind of mumbles under her breath. Let me know if you're ever off the ship.
Whether or not you had anything to do with it, I do appreciate that there have not been any more attempts on the king's life since last we spoke.
Oh.
Rosie's
That
gonna
doesn't look-
squint her eyes at the rest of the group.
Rosie, we've already been over it. None of us knew anything about someone coming here to try and kill him. Try and get him out of town, maybe, but not kill him. Stop with the glaring.
Okay, good. Because you guys don't tell me anything anymore.
Do you really think we would have sent someone here to kill him?
No. But I don't trust my own judgment a lot of the time.
That's fair.
So down one deck and over, and she opens the door and stands back to let you guys enter. Earl is sitting up in his bed. He still has his right arm in a sling. He looks a little healthier, a little bit like he's put on a little bit of weight back on. So you don't just see bones. You don't think if he was shirtless you'd see his rib cage right now. And he puts down his book, puts a bookmark in it with fairly dexterous. One hand he kind of just lifts the bookmark, slips it in the book, and sets it aside, and then takes his glasses off.
Need any more healing?
I'm fine, thank you.
Okay.
Nathan kind of stops in the doorway, kind of falters for a second.
He just kind of looks at Nathan.
Hello.
Nathan.
Hello, Earl. I haven't had the pleasure. My name's
Was Nathan the
Kalinda.
last one to come in?
He would have been.
Okay.
He does enter the room, though.
Nice to meet you, Kalinda.
I was one of the people who sent you Amy upon her release.
Thank you.
Owen
He's around
and
here somewhere. Amy. And Amy just materializes in the corner.
Owen is the
Probably
one
here.
who was able to orchestrate her release, though.
It was a joint effort. Thank you.
My understanding is that you didn't release her when you first could have, though.
Because we didn't know what she might do.
All right. That's fair, I guess.
It was only a day, though, wasn't it? We did make sure that was as fast as possible for it to be safe.
That's my understanding. And she kind of puts, you see her hand kind of lift up just a little bit away from her body, just in front of her, just like lift casually up about maybe 4 or 5 inches. Like she's like leaning forward with that hand. Does anybody have that gun on them? Or is that sitting somewhere?
I know where it is,
Okay.
but
So after a moment, she stops. But a little subtle movement that most of you probably picked up on. He didn't. He's just oblivious right now. He's just looking at you guys.
We still haven't been able to reach Saldana. We tried a couple of send-in spells and they didn't go through. We were hoping we could figure out a way to get her handmaiden out of the stone I told you about, so that we could try to talk to her and find out what happened with Saldana. Last she saw, at least. But ran into a we ran into a slight problem. Which is that apparently we don't know her real name. I think I told you that part last time we were here.
Yeah, I do remember that. I'm sorry. I've been trying to regain what little function I have. Trying to remember everything that's happened. I feel like I'm stuck between 2 different worlds.
You didn't exactly not go through something traumatic, so kind of makes sense. I know the feeling. Very, very well know the feeling.
is there a deity or a faith that you find comfort in? I'd be happy to pray with you if that would make you feel a little better. I realize it's not pertinent to the conversation, but anything that might help ease.
He kind of reaches for his shirt a little, touching something underneath, and but his hand just kind of goes back down. And he goes, I have not prayed since I was found. I'm not ready yet.
I understand.
What of Javea? I mean, her name was Javea. I don't know. Do you need her last name?
I mean, that might help. Maybe then we could find out more information. It's no matter what, Javea is not a real name because it hasn't released her from the stone. And
I don't know.
We know that she called herself a handmaiden of the cord, and we weren't sure if maybe you would know more about that than us.
I've never heard of anything like that.
Well, we might as well try with the last name as well. Nothing can't hurt.
It was Jenon. It was some simple name. I don't remember. But as you're talking, Amy has actually taken a full step forward.
What's wrong, Amy?
And she looks over. The Queen's handmaiden.
Yes?
Donovan made sure that I knew the name of everyone, and as much as I could about all of them. And Earl kind of puts his hand up and looks over. Amy, do you know her real name? Yes, I do. Please tell us her real name. He almost looks like he's getting a little like flustered, but also like playful with it. And she says, Jevihana Hargrave.
Janahana.
Javehana.
Juvehana.
Hargrave, you say?
Yes, Hargrave. And the king's like shaking and says, that was not her. That's not her name. You got it wrong. And she's like, no, I do not. She hid her name.
Thank you, Amy.
Thank you, Amy. Soxy, where's she being kept? She's at Pimble's, yes?
Yeah, that's where she is.
Suppose we will head there next afterwards. Thank you, Amy.
Has there been any luck
Thank you.
reaching Saldana?
Not as of yet.
None so far, but we're not done trying.
He's gonna look at Earl. I tried sending her, sending. It didn't work.
I believe you've tried before and it didn't work either, correct? Didn't you say that last
I
time?
didn't.
Pinball tried.
Pinball tried.
His spell, it was like it didn't go through all the way or something. Like maybe she was asleep. We tried again, and it happened again.
Just failed.
So we don't
We're
know.
hoping her handmaiden might have an idea of where we can start looking since sending isn't working.
Of course.
Rosie's gonna test something because she knows that it's not gonna work, but she's gonna see if it feels the way that it's been described, and she's going to try sending to Jabea. Just saying random bullshit and seeing if the feeling that she gets matches the description of what they're saying.
No, it does not. This one is this one seems to go through, you just don't get a response.
Well, I think we know that she's not also trapped, but I think that Javea might be a little bit confused when we get her out, since they just told her a goblin fairy tale.
Alright.
Well, she's met you, so she'll at least hopefully recognize the voice.
Your voice is a little hard to mistake, really.
I'm gonna take that as a compliment.
I meant it as a compliment.
Okay, good. Because that's how I'm gonna take it.
Why would I mean it as an insult? Why would I
I don't think you would, because you know I could destroy you.
I wouldn't, because I'm not. You're my friend. Why must you torment me this way, you tiny green?
Because you make it so easy.
Please.
Thank you, Soxy. Sorry.
Yeah, let's let him get his rest.
Can I actually talk with you? Just a moment of your time.
Please.
He looks to the party like, leave. He doesn't say anything, but he just looks at them like, leave now.
Before she steps out, Callie's gonna place her hand on Earl's. If you ever need to talk, feel free. Amy knows where I can be found.
All right.
And she just kind of pats his hand and stands up and walks out of the room.
Kind
Really
of like
leaves too.
starts and turns to Amy, almost like he's talking to himself. Says, I'm not used to this level of familiarity. Kind of almost forgetting that you guys are there, like he's almost had to live a life alone or apart for a very long time.
Almost like.
Or maybe was trapped under the ocean for several weeks. All right.
Nathan waits for everyone
Tomato,
to leave.
tomato.
Nathan's gonna wait for everyone to leave the
Or
room.
both. All right, so everyone leaves.
He's just gonna kind of sit down, crisscross applesauce on the floor, a few feet away from him. Kind of look at him. You know, for a really long time, I wanted you dead. And I wanted to be the one to do it. For so many years, all of my anger and hatred and rage came from what happened. From the appearances, you were the center point. You were the epicenter of all of the tragedy in my life. And I seethed and boiled on that. And it's been really hard having to understand that it wasn't your fault. So I just wanted to say, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
All right.
And so then I guess this was more for me than anything else. And I forgive you. Because it wasn't... People can do terrible things when they are forced to. So, I don't know where I'm going with this, I'm sorry.
When you're king, nothing is your fault. Nobody treats you that way, anyways. It's one of the worst feelings I've ever had. And then to only have blame for the things I didn't do squarely resting on me was difficult.
I can imagine so.
And now to know that I'm going to have to live with that forever. That I may be banished from the city and never be able to come back to the city that I've lived in and loved for 100 years. It would be difficult.
I'm sorry. I really, really am. You know where to find me if you need me. Yes,
He just nods a little bit.
Get some rest. You look like you still need it.
More than you know.
Goodbye, all.
And he just nods again.
He's gonna leave.
Right. So Nathan comes out. What do you guys do?
Head to Pinballs.
Pimbles.
All right. I'm gonna go over
Just
to-
while Nathan's talking, I think we're just going to have a brief look around while he's got a few moments to. But apart from that, yeah, he's not doing anything else.
If Rosie heard any of the stories about the ship while she was having tea with the captain, she'd walk with Finko and just be like,
Okay, so this is where they got that, and this is where they got that, and you wouldn't believe the story about this one. This part was almost swallowed by a whale. It was nuts.
Sounds about right.
Hiko just listens.
All right, so you guys head off. Chibs and the captain tell Finko that he can come back anytime. They'd be glad to show off the Birchfield to him.
Ooh, excited.
And you guys head up over to Bilgeport, get Owen's boat back up to the main level, and head over to Pin. You're going in the front door, or is it over at Moe's? I can't remember where you guys kept it. Oh, that's right. It's at Pinballs. That's right.
Yeah, it's at Pimble, so we have to
So
go
you
in
head
through
into
the door.
front door. So now as the door opens, unlocked still, this purple swirling portal of death now not only has teeth and blades that kind of come out of it, but now some sort of barbed wire looking thing. There's this horridly rancid smell, and there's growling and snarling, much like it was a rabid wombat on the other side.
Rosie's just gonna go, woo! And she's gonna cannonball in.
Soxy just mutters to herself, it's all right, Fluffy. Everything's fine. Walks through the door.
Same.
Stop your whining. Walks through.
Owen will also walk through.
So you get the other side.
Callie just goes, hey, use a lock. And walks through the portal.
Just lock the door. Just lock the fucking door.
Think you can go through?
Yeah, I think I said it went through.
All right. So as you get to the other side, you are now in a more like a living area. It actually looks like it's been decked out specifically for you guys to maybe have little meetings between each other. There's a little painting on the wall that's kind of a silhouette of 16 people standing on a hill. There's just all these little beautiful little things that kind of stick out. Anything that you've given Pinball or anything is kind of displayed here, gifts or anything that you've seen that have come from Oshin. They're all now kind of in this living space. There's a small shelf of books with some extra room, and of course the big chest that is much like a bag of holding, but a larger version, which holds all of your extra gear.
Well, moment of truth, I guess.
Right.
Obviously, one of you guys should do it. You know her.
All right. Well, let me find the stone first. It's in here somewhere. And she starts digging through the chest and
You'll find it fairly quickly.
pulls it out. Yeah. I kind of feel like we should ask Pinball if there's any side effects to opening one of these things before we open it in the middle of the room. Just in case.
Where Pinball is currently?
He's not here. If you search around, he's not here.
No. Oh, well. I mean,
We could take it back to, like, our different...
does Pinball have a room where he casts spells that helps, like, when he's testing them, that helps contain things at all?
No. Mm-mm.
If you want, we can take it back to my temple.
That could work.
Yeah, come to think of it, it'd probably be rude without telling Pinball to technically invite someone into his home, which he likes.
True.
It's fair.
Let's go back to my temple. I've got space where she can rest all set up since Amy's not using it, and offer her a place. And between you, me, Rosie, and Owen, we've got plenty of healing on board as well.
All
That
right.
sounds like a good plan.
All right.
So you do that.
Yep, I lead everybody to my temple and up the stairs into the spare bedroom that I made up for Amy. All right, then.
Okay. So you've got it there. You've got the stone. What do you do?
So, I guess we just say the name. Hold on. She puts the stone down on the floor, like in the room, so that so that Javea doesn't like appear in her hand. She doesn't know how this works.
Would the bed be more comfortable than the floor? What if she appears lying down?
Maybe that's a good idea. So she puts it on the bed. Right. So. Okay, so Logan, so it's Javehana or Javeana?
Javeana.
Javeana. Okay. Javeana Hargrave.
As soon as you finish the last syllable, you hear this loud snap right that echoes through the room. And you look down and you see a large crack all the way over the crystal. A moment later, it just shatters out in every direction, causing you to look away and shield your eyes. And it also explodes in a flash of blinding red light. Once you look back, you see Javea crouched laying on the bed, and she springs up, looking around, reaching for weapons as if ready to do battle. And then she sees you all, and she gets really excited and starts bouncing up and down. And then all of it fades from her, and she gets really scared looking and runs over to, who'd she know best? Probably Nathan.
Probably Nathan.
And just like slams into him and grabs his shirt.
Hey,
They got her.
Who's
Some creepy people. Like, the woman, she had like a veil.
He's
And
gonna
then there's this
cover
creepy
her
little
face.
bald guy.
He's gonna
And
cover
he
her
like
face.
slobbered all over the place. We've got to get her back now. We've got to get her.
Sweet
Slow
the
down.
pot in my ass.
We're gonna find her. We're gonna find her. We know exactly who that is.
He's just holding her face.
It's gonna be okay. Breathe.
I'm gonna lie down now.
Breathe.
And
Son
she
of a
basically
bitch.
collapses to the floor.
No,
That's
she
not gonna
holds
end.
her.
God damn it.
I am going to call it there, guys. Thank you. I appreciate it. Sorry, it's been a little bit of a rough night. I just need to do something a little more mindless with the rest of my night. But thank you guys. I want to get to that. That was very important to get to for this week. We've got a lot of big things happening. So, and we have one less day to do it with, and now one extra half day less to do with it. So, you guys will have her rest, and she's going to sleep for probably the rest of the evening. And if you guys want to continue talking to her tomorrow, we can go ahead and do that. So thank you guys so much for being here. Let's go real quick through our sponsor, World Anvil. Thank you to them for being such an awesome sponsor. I was going to say we. Angela has been going crazy on the World Anvil. Go check it out. There's a ton new pages. There's a ton new articles. She's fleshing everything out. The God section is getting filled up. I think she's already at almost 2,000 words out of the 10,000 for the month, and she's only been working on it for like a day and a half. She is a crazy person, and I love her. So World Anvil is doing their World Ember, like December, World Ember, or World Ember like glowing, because we like that. So go take a look at that. Nerdsmith.org, we're a proud member of the Nerdsmith network. Go check a look over there, nerdsmith.org/content. I've got all the emails done. We are in the testing phase of the new membership system, which means I'm hoping that will launch by the end of the week, including possibly the store, if I can get the store working as well. So that's the goal there, is to have that up and running by the end of the week if possible. And then lastly, all artist proceeds that go through Nerdsmith or through this network, Nerdsmith takes a small percentage to keep the lights running, and then the rest all goes to the Trevor Project. We don't keep any of it. We give it all to the Trevor Project because that is our charity of choice. And this stream will always, with this many people, will probably always be a charity stream. So that is it. That's us. That's Countless Heroes. Thank you guys for being here. You can go to our website on our page on nerdsmith.org. Go to /content, and you can click on Countless Heroes there. You can get all caught up with all the extra stuff that's going on, because I see there's a bunch of new people. Thank you guys for being here. Sorry it's a short night, but it's just that's going to happen occasionally. This is 79 episodes. This is the first one I've cut short, so maybe the second. We'll keep going. And no episode this Saturday because Tess and I will be out of town. But we will be back after that Tuesday as usual. But we still have Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday this week to go, and we will have those episodes probably without a hitch. So we'll see you then. All right. Thank you, everyone, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.